Hello everyone, this is Colin once again. I'm making this video because I know that tomorrow, at least for me, tomorrow is Easter. And though I don't celebrate Easter personally, I know that this is a very big holiday um, for Christians and secular Westerners as well. And this video is not an attack on Easter. Rather, I thought it would be interesting for me to kind of do a twist, as it were. I'm sure many of you who regularly watch my videos probably assumed I was going to do some sort of anti-resurrection video or try and disprove the resurrection of Jesus. And I feel that that's actually kind of cliche. I kind of thought about it, and not that I actually intended on doing that, but I thought how cliche that was. And it's not like you can't find videos like that on YouTube out there already trying to disprove the resurrection of Jesus just in time for Easter. Um, However, I thought I would do something a little different and actually defend the rights of the Christians in believing in not only the resurrection story of Jesus, but also some of the other events in the New Testament. What I'm talking about here is I've noticed recently there's been a lot of people who are obsessed with not only trying to disprove the historical Jesus, but trying to say that he, not only never existed, but that Christians are completely ridiculous for believing in the stories in the New Testament. Now, let me just give a little warning disclaimer. I'm not actually saying I believe in the resurrection of Jesus Christ. I personally actually don't. But does that mean that I'm going to use such tactics as, well, the story of Jesus is just recycled from pagan myths that already existed before the time of Jesus? Actually, no, I wouldn't do that to disprove the resurrection. And I actually, when I've talked to people who I know personally about the subject, not necessarily the historical Jesus question, but the concept of the story of Jesus in general, as it's portrayed in the New Testament, and they say to me, "But I've heard that this is just recycled myths from pagan religions." And so I've watched videos before. I've watched Zeitgeist and seen refutations for that. I've watched other videos. There's that one floating around the internet. I forget what it's called now, but it's everywhere. I don't think you can go to any internet website and not see an advertisement for this. It's like the God that wasn't there or something like that. So anyway, what I did is I actually found a list of a couple of the gods that people who try to disprove Jesus. I found a list of some of the gods they parallel to Jesus, and I did some serious research. I actually read a number of books I've read actually a number of books on the mystery cults of the first to the fourth century. I've read. I'm very familiar with the myths of some of these gods, and I thought I would share some of my findings that really. I don't want to say I've been studying this subject for years, but I mean, ever since I was a little kid, I would read about the myths of the Egyptian, Norse, and Greek and Roman deities, and so I remember hearing that a lot of these people will compare, Dionysus, Horus, Osiris, Apollo, Hercules, Attis, and Odin to Jesus, and they'll say that all these people were born of a virgin, or they'll say a lot of them were born of a virgin, and that a lot of them had followers, and that a lot of them, were killed and then came back from the dead. So I thought I would go through some of these and see if we can actually substantiate any of this. I'll be providing links for all of this, but from this one website here, let's look at Dionysus. I'll quote the article. It says, according to one myth, Dionysus is the son of the god Zeus and the mortal woman Semilia. Semilia is killed by Zeus's lightning bolts while Dionysus is still in her womb. Dionysus is rescued and undergoes a second birth from Zeus after developing in his thigh. Zeus then gives the infant to some nymphs to be raised. In another version, one with more explicit religious overtones, Dionysus, also referred to as Zagreus in this account, is the son of Zeus and Persephone, queen of the underworld. Hera gets the Titans to lure the infant with toys, and they rip him to shreds, eating everything but Zagreus' heart, which is saved by either Athena, Rhea, or Demeter, depending on which myth version you read. Zeus remakes his son from the heart and implants him in Semilia, who bears a new Dionysus, Zagreus. Hence, as is in the earlier account, Dionysus is called twice born. The later account formed a part of the Orphic religious mythology. So, right from the get-go, what does this have anything to do with Jesus? I mean, seriously, if you can let go of your bias for about 5 seconds, this myth, when you put it next to Jesus or the life of Jesus, what we found is that he's well, in one version of the myth, he's never well, to the extent that he actually is aborted. The lightning bolt strikes the womb and he's dead. He's stillborn. And then they try round two by putting him in Zeus's thigh. The other version is that he's torn apart as a infant by the Titans, and then put together. He's actually brought back by taking the heart. Again, I don't see the parallel between the two, unless, of course, the only um, thing you are really trying to compare is that he ceased to be and then he was back again. Well, to me, that's not very convincing to say that someone was dead and then they came back. Oh, they must have been copying from that person, right? Come on, give me a break. And also, I know that there's that image floating around that apparently depicts Dionysus on a cross. Well, according to the Titan legend, he's never actually crucified. As an infant, he's torn apart, except for his heart. And I've heard that that picture that you see is actually fake. It's not a real antiquity piece of, a piece of antiquity. Horus, again, I'll give the link for the Legends of Horus. There's nothing about him being killed and then coming back from the dead. Osiris, of course, is more like torn apart and then brought back. Horus is not actually born of a virgin. He's born of Isis. In fact, according to one myth, Isis collects the semen of Osiris and then impregnates herself spiritually with Horus. Odonius is another one, another Greek person. They say that he was born of a virgin. Yet what's interesting is that his mother Smyrna conceived an incestuous passion for her father. Um, and it says that apparently she was turned into a tree, and then Odonius exploded from the tree. So not really born of a virgin, actually born of a tree. Um, Let's see here. What's another one here? Again, Apollo. I see nothing about him dying and being resurrected, or anything about him being born of a virgin. Hercules, same thing. Zeus impregnated his mother. His death, he actually was poisoned, and as he was dying, his body was burned away by a funeral pyre, and then his immortal half was brought up to Mount Olympus. So again, no resurrection. He just lives on since he is half immortal. Another one is Attis. Attis actually killed himself by castrating himself, and he bled to death. There's no mention of him being born of a virgin at all. In fact, apparently what happened is that that his mother conceived Attis, not by taking but not by sexual intercourse, but by taking the fruit of an almond tree that had grown up from the sexual organ of Odysseus, which the gods had cut off. So she doesn't have normal sexual intercourse, but he's born for not in the sense as Jesus is. And again, there is actually no resurrection. The only thing is that his body, his mother asks if Zeus can grant his body not to decay, which he does, but there is no resurrection from the dead. The only one left then would be Mithra. Now, with Mithra, it's interesting because, yes, I do agree that Mithra was born on December 25th. Not necessarily you have to differentiate between the original Zoroastrian stories and the stories that were later adopted by the Roman mystery cult. Now, the Roman mystery cult, not the Zoroastrians, but the Roman mystery cult say that he was born December 25th, and that they eat bread to sanctify and to symbolically represent the fact that Mithra not sacrificed himself, but actually rather sacrificed a bull for sin, or for the people, not actually himself. And I will be posting an article written by an author who disproves a lot of the alleging parallels between Mithra and Jesus Christ, since I don't have enough time to go through all of them, but I'll let you guys read that as well. So, as we can see, again, let me be very clear, I'm not actually saying that I believe in the resurrection of Jesus as told in the New Testament. However, I do believe that we can do better in discussing this topic and our disbelief in it, rather than going to sort of like a follow the leader attitude of just parroting and what people are saying, and when, like, basically saying that it was ripped off and plagiarized by pagan stories, when we find that's not actually true. Thank you everyone for watching. Peace be with you all.